Now is the perfect time to learn Peni Parker. There's a lot of dive in the meta. It continues to get worse. She's a great answer at either shutting it down or at least delaying it. She's putting a wrench on what they want to do. And if you're really good with Penny, you'll see a lot of people switch off dive. And she's always had those things, that defensive playstyle with the nest, but she got some meaningful buffs recently. These buffs change how she can approach engagements. Her overall ceiling got a little bit higher. She got a little bit more lethal. She is a defensive tank, best on defense, but on offense, she can do just as well. You have to have a mindset with it, and we're going to talk about it as we go. She's great at protecting healers, but she's also a meat shield, kind of like Hulk. She can take a lot of damage. But while she was taking all that damage in the past, she was always fighting in the sand, very slow, and she dealt moderate damage. Now she can fly a lot faster and deal meaningful damage. So in this guide, I want to talk about what to be looking for with her, and that way we can have better games. Let's first start off with her primary, Cyberweb Cluster. I do want to mention she did get a base health buff. I'm going to bring that up now because it does add to her kit. She now has 750 total health. That helps her be a bullet sponge. It helps her survivability. It went from 650 to 750. Her primary attack, the Cyberweb Cluster, travels at 120 meters a second, which is the same speed as, let's say, Invisible Woman's Orb or Namor's Trident. It got two massive changes, two buffs. First, it now has a chance to crit. Before it couldn't do that. Second, they reduced the movement speed penalty while firing this attack from 40% to 20%. Her base movement is 6 meters a second, so before, when you shot, you slowed all the way down to 3.6 meters a second. Now, you move 4.8 meters a second. It's a lot faster. This is an infinite ammo attack, and not only that, Peni Parker has the most range out of any Vanguard. I mean, she can get damage on flyers, far away attackers, and with this buff, she's the second Vanguard that can crit, the other one's Venom. But note, she does suffer damage fall off, and they've done something really cool with that because of this buff. So damage-wise, when you hit something, two damage numbers go down. First is the projectile, the other is the spell field. The spell field has a 1.5 meter radius, meaning it can be splashed on the ground, on walls. The projectile deals 15 damage, the spell field deals 15 damage, so a total of 30 damage on a hit on a body shot. This got changed with the buff. She can now crit, so if you land a headshot, there's a catch. Because of this attack's case, the projectile can crit, the spell field cannot. So if you land a headshot, in total, it is 45 damage. 30 from the projectile hit and 15 from the spell field. So from now on, you definitely want to be landing criticals with Peni Parker. And here's what's cool to me. She has an effective range that does experience drop-off. She deals max damage 15 meters and in, 30 to the body, 45 to the head. Past that, you get fall off. Now at the floor, outside of band, like way outside max of her range, she'll deal about 22, 23, 24 damage to the body. It jumps around because there's rounding. But at this distance, if you land a critical, the damage is 30 overall, because it's counting in that crit multiplier, which is double damage. So even at a distance, it's making up for it. And 30 damage is the same damage as a regular body shot. So again, more important than ever, be going for headshots. Because up close to the body, it takes 10 shots to down, let's say, a Luna Snow. Now, before these buffs, this is always what it took, but now, since it can crit, if you land headshots, it'll take 7 shots instead of 10. They do make a difference, but at a distance, because of the fall off, just this far away, it takes me 13 body shots, but if you somehow land crits at this distance, it goes back to 10, because each shot's landing for 30 damage. Also note, and we've talked about it before in other videos, how the weapon model and the angle of the projectiles matter as far as aiming just a little bit to the right, more so with Peni Parker because the top left side of her mech has a launcher, the top right has a launcher. So if you aim in the middle, it'll alternate between hitting and missing because the angle of it, because it's coming from the left side, just misses to the left. So if you can try to aim right a little bit, it's difficult because there's projectile speed, but just know that that's there. The Bionic Spider Nest is your lifeline, your most important ability. It's got 350 health. The nest periodically spawns spider drones and creates cyber webs. While in the cyber web, you gain healing over time and a movement boost. Excess healing converts into bonus health. There's a lot to unpack, but first is the movement boost. You get a 25% movement boost. Her base speed is 6 meters a second, and while in the web, you're going to move 8.1 meters a second, but even cooler. And the more I see how these developers have made changes and they do things, the more impressed I am. We went over earlier, while shooting, you get a 20% movement penalty, so you drop down to 4.8 meters a second. But guess what a 25% boost to 4.8 meters a second is? 6. Perfectly 6. So while you're in the web shooting, you're moving at your just base 6 meters a second. It's nerdy and cool to me. Health-wise, while you're in a web, you receive 25 healing a second. That's just constant healing over time. Your max health is 750. You can be overhealed, so excess healing is converted to that bonus health up to a maximum of 150 bonus health. So while you're chilling in your web, you get 900 total health, and that just keeps coming back 25 health a second. It makes you a monster, especially if you're getting healed from your strategists. But the key all along is keeping your nest safe. Guard it with your life, literally. Put it where they need to get an angle to take it out, and once they reach that angle, body block it the best that you can. If it takes a ton of damage, recall it. And to recall it, you press the same button. Why would you do that? It's got a 15-second cooldown if it gets destroyed, but depending on its health, that's how long your cooldown's going to be. If it has been hit, if it still has its full 350 health, you can move it freely over and over. But when it takes damage, half takes a couple hits, you'd only have a 7-second cooldown, a 5-second, 8, instead of having to wait that full 15 seconds. So if you see that it's taking heavy heat, just recall it. Even if it's a 13-second cooldown, it's better than 15. Or maybe a Hulk gets on it and just starts smashing it. Recall it. Take the loss. It was hurt bad anyway, and it's going to get destroyed. Next, it has spider drones. The drones spawn every 3 seconds from the nest. There's a max of 10 that can be within the web field. Once you reach 10, they start despawning. Each one of these little spiders deals 40 damage. So if they're all out there, 400 damage is within your nest, and they track to enemies that get inside. This is your island, it is your trap, it is your turf, the floor is lava, the web is life. Because in here you have constant health and over health, you move great, and you're now dealing more primary damage because of the buffs. And anything that steps in there has to deal with you and the mines attacking them. The nest casts a wide web around you, and you can extend it with some of your other abilities. The Cyber Bond creates a web, you have your Snare web, the webs you get from your super, all of that can extend them. And as long as the webs lead back to that nest, the spider drones are going to follow them to enemies. Then, of course, you have your big mines, the Arachno mines, and this is where your big damage is going to come from. A lot of your kills are going to come from these. When you place these mines on a web, they are hidden from enemies. They're not going to know that they're there. You'll be able to see them, your enemies do not. So you have 4 charges, and each charge takes 4 seconds to recharge. You can have a maximum of 15 of these Arachno mines on the field. 15. And since you start with 4, that means you need to generate 11 to make up that 15. So it's going to take about 44 seconds to do that, but you're usually going to be dropping them in batches, 3-4 at a time. Each mine deals 100 damage, so 3 mines can take out most heroes in the game. Strategists, DPS heroes. So what I like to do immediately after I drop the nest is put 3 mines next to it. This is for desperate divers, or let's say a Captain America. They need that nest gone. All of them, Black Panther, Iron Fist, they need to get close to it, they need to try to take it out. So you want mines there initially to protect it. As you're moving, grooving, and shaking, you get more mines over time, you start placing them in different areas within your nest. Now, these mines can be placed on ceilings. They can be placed above doorways, on walls. All of these are great spots, and actually, if you kind of angle and look right off of a wall, she'll place the mine in the wall, which is totally weird, and they still detonate. But placing them around doorways, people don't see them coming, and it's just going to one-shot a lot of your enemies. But with these mines, you are placing them around your web area because they don't know that they're there. A little bit closer to the nest because a lot of enemies get closer to try to take it out, but you're also going to place mines in key entry points. And the thing about Penny is the more that she is alive, the more deadly her area is. There's a world where you have 10 of the little spider mines, 15 of your big mines, and you're just waiting for engagements. So that's why it's very important to protect that nest. Key entry points to the zone from their spawn, you can and will take out a ton of support ults, like Cloak and Dagger. Like right here, she wants to come into the zone. I have a whole bunch of mines there, she's punished. The mines can take her out of the ult, same with Mantis, even Luna. These are also great around the payload, because you can have mines tracking from your nest, and you're placing the hidden ones.
Systems restoring. We are undefeatable! Good job, spiders!
So you're going to place these early and often. They're a ton of damage. Again, I try to do batches of 3 because that's 300 damage for most heroes. When 3 comes back, I go to another area, another choke point, throw down 3 or 4. You can spread them out how you want, but I tend to look for instant deletes. There's nothing like taking out a support or a dive or another DPS in one shot, just ending them. And there's more to go over in the playstyle section. With Cyber Bond, you shoot a strand that links to a targeted area, or cyber web, and if it stretches too far, it's going to trigger a pullback. It's a tether. You shoot out a web, it's like a rope, and you go to it. You're attached to it, and you can detach by pressing the same button. If you get far away from it, tensions get stronger, and then it's going to start to pull you back to where you attach to. And what's noteworthy about this ability is it's mostly used as a movement tool, up to places to get away, to dart across gaps, but also, since it has this tension, it's also a web. So it's basically like a little healing pool. Maybe your nest is down, or you're trying to get away, there's no health packs, just throw this at your feet. And if you do that, you could also use that tether mechanic. You could stick it somewhere on the wall, on the floor. You can venture out, do damage, and if you take a lot of damage, let it snap you back. And when it snaps you back, you're right on the web, you start getting healed again. But it's mostly a skill expressive movement tool. I mean, you can do a lot with it. It's got a cooldown of every 3 seconds. You can use it a ton. And I'm not going to have its own section, just a small section for this ability. The wall crawl. You just hold jump and she can go up vertical on a wall. That can be combined with the tether, so you can kind of shoot it up high and use it to get higher faster. Web snare, you cast a futuristic webbing that immobilizes enemies or creates a cyber web. While in the cyber web, you gain healing over time and a movement boost. Excess healing converts into bonus health. So again, you can extend your nest, but somehow this ability just got better. I mean, this is a 3-second cooldown ability. You can use it to extend nests. It can be placed to extend your health pool, but it's mostly used as a stun, a 3-second stun. When you hit an enemy with it, they're snared for 0.7 seconds. They're just locked in place. And with her crit buff, this makes it better because you're going to be getting shots. You're going to snare them. You can line up 2 free crits and you're doing more damage. Very, very good. Not only that, it can CC ults. Any of them. Scarlet Witch, Spider-Man, Emma at the start of her ult, Iron Man, on and on. Extremely powerful. I use this early and often at the start of the match. Like even it's just everybody's in a hallway. I am holding down the primary button, shots are going off, and every 3 seconds, that net's coming out. Because that net, it's locking people down, meaning you and your team deal more damage to them. And I do this until I think an ultimate is close. Then I pull back on throwing it a little bit when I think someone's about to, let's say, do a Doctor Strange ult, Wanda, Spider-Man, whatever. I pay more attention to them, and when they do it, I end it. Thing, Strange, all of it. It's insane. One of the most powerful parts of her kit. And yes, you can CC ults, but just in general, throw it early and often all the time. And it gets even worse for them once they're in your nest. Because when enemies get in there, you're holding them in place. That way, all your little drones can make their way to them, or you can throw down a mine right below them. And you do that one of 2 ways. You can throw the net to stun, throw a mine, throw the mine down first, then stun them. So you have this very lethal area that you live in, and you want it to be a no-go zone. Like right here, I put a nest at the end of the payload. The payload's coming to me. I created 3 webs to the payload so they can link up, meaning my little drones can make it out that far. And I also have all the arachno mines that I put that enemies can't see. So as Spider-Man got to the back line, he got hit, and he wants to go back to his team. As he was doing his drive-by, I picked him right out of the air. He fell down right into everything that I put my work into. Instant delete. All over those arachno mines. One of the most important things you can do, so keep throwing the webs, stunning people, placing mines under them in random areas, and when you stun people, it's just free damage for you and your team. And honestly, pound for pound, when you look at it, the entire game, it's one of the most powerful abilities in the game because of its cooldown with what it's doing. The team ups with Venom. Penny's the forgotten symbiote hero. 30-second cooldown. While active, you're invincible. You press the button, it lasts for 2 seconds. The initial damage is 50, and then 50 damage per second. It is legit free damage, and you can't get hurt. It's good to get away. It's good to just do damage. It's a wild ability. Her ultimate is Spider Sweeper. Here's the deal with this thing. I view it a little bit differently than most. I think it's pretty good, not great, but I want to show you how to use it, how it works, what's going on, and what you're trying to do. It states, enhance the spider suit, launching up enemies in its path and deploying arachno mines, spider drones, and cyber webs repeatedly. When you pop this ultimate, you get 450 bonus health and a 70% movement boost as you're sprinting. You're flying with 1,350 health, because since you're in the web, you're getting the bonus health as well. After that, 2 things happen automatically, period. They just happen for you. 1, everywhere you run, you leave a web behind you. You don't have to do anything, it just does that. 2, spider drones drop out of her back. These are the ones that deal 40 damage, and they drop every 0.7 seconds. The duration of this ultimate is 12 seconds, meaning she drops 17 of these little spiders. And for these 2 things, you do nothing. You pop the ult and run. She drops webs, she drops the mini mines. That just happens. With that being said, you're going to have 2 jobs. 1 is the sweep attack. This is your left click. It deals 50 damage, and this is a punch style attack, and what it does, when you hit them, it knocks them up in the air. This is important with what you're trying to do. I mean, first and foremost, it is a disruption tool. When you knock them up in the air, not only is it making them easier targets for you, but also your team. But after you knock them up, this is giving your mines time to make it to them. You end up dealing more damage after you knock them up because of this. Your second job is the arachno mines. This is your right click. Left click knocks them up in the air. Right click sets out the big mines. These are the 100 damage mines. In the ultimate, you get 7 of them, and you can place 7 anywhere you want during your ultimate. So really quick, before you ult, it's important to have up your nest because that's more area to spread the little arachno mines that can travel along it. The second thing that you want to do is any mines that you have in your reserve, say you have all 4, throw them all out in front of you because you're going to be running in that direction anyway. So as you start, you have 4, throw them out, go into your ult. You have 7 mines in your ult. That means when you're done, you'll have 11 of the big mines on the ground. The ult lasts for 12 seconds and each mine recharges every 4 seconds. When you're done with your ult, you have 3, meaning after all this is said and done, you have 14 mines on the ground. When using these mines, you can place them around the payload wherever you see fit, or as you're running around, you're running at enemies to try to knock them up. Once you knock them up, look straight on the ground and place a mine under them. So when they land on a mine. That's one of the main uses of this combo. That's why they're both there. And as far as the ultimate as a whole, you use it in a couple key areas. One is to keep yourself alive around the zone. Say a strategist goes down on your team, you need to buy time. The nest is up, you pop your ultimate, you run around, try to get some downs, or if anything, stall. The second time you use it is to stop an enemy push. Again, say they're all heavy mid lane, they're getting ready to get into the zone, you can pop this to try to stall it. And third is another good way to use it. It's right after support ults, because the Pity ultimate lasts for 12 seconds. A lot of supports, Invisible Woman, Mantis, they only last for 8. And usually with these support ultimates, everyone on the enemy team gets inside. So Invisible Woman, everyone gets in the zone. Mantis, everyone gets within her range. So if you pop this ultimate a couple seconds after that, what ends up happening is, yes, you're in the enemy's ultimate, you're not doing any damage, but it's going to end and you're going to have about 6 full seconds to do what you need to do. And in those 6 seconds, everyone is clumped together and you still have your 7 mines. So you immediately just start throwing them out in that area where they were just safe. You can end up doing a lot of damage and get downs. This isn't the best ultimate, but it's definitely not the worst. And I don't think that it's useless. I think it does have value. Try some of the things that I talked about. As far as the playstyle, there's a couple things you can do with Peni Parker, and she doesn't really have any combos. I mean, we kind of talked about it in each section, some of the things that you can do one after another. There's one main playstyle that you see, but there's another one that is just completely different than what you would normally do, and it's very effective. So starting off, to get where you need to go, use that grapple, and then use a right-click net. Remember, you get a movement boost while in your web, so what you're doing is you're extending a far distance with that grapple web, and then you web right in front of it. And all this is speed. Getting to where you need to go the fastest as possible. So you can start implementing that in your game right when you get off spawn. Because by the time you get to where you need to go, all your cooldowns are back. And once you get there, where you want to be, it's where you want to set up shop. In a perfect world, on defense or in a hill game, you're going to set your nest in the safest area that you can, preferably an area with only 1 or 2 angles that it can be hit from. And when players start getting on those angles, you can body block. And again, in a perfect world, after you set up shop, it's an area where you and your strategist can see everything. Because that's the main thing about Penny. Strategists should stay near the nest. They should stay in the web if there's a dive presence on the other team. You're going to have mines around your nest to protect it, but you're going to sprinkle a couple around the back areas where your strategists are. And of course, these are on top of the seeker mines that your nest makes. Now, this isn't always the case. Strategists don't stay in there. But you're going to experiment with nest locations. Each one's you're going to kind of mentally lock in if they worked or not. But your main goal is to lock down an area. And that area is going to be wherever you choose. Like some say Penny isn't a frontline tank. I mean, why not? If you set up your webs on the front line, your nest is in a safe place. She is. She can be. She can be very effective. After you set up, you're going to place your arachno mines, the big ones, in areas that are most likely to have heavy traffic. Main lanes, choke points. The enemies can't see that they're there. Drop them under a web. And I like to drop at least 3. That's 300 damage. And if a tank hits it, you pretty much took them down to half health. Hopefully everyone can clean up and follow after that. But ideally, those 3 mines are going to hit a hero with 300 health or less and instant delete them. So many times Magics try to come in with their ult or whatever it is, and they just get instantly deleted. But that comes from you putting them down in the right traffic areas. As you're playing, you're always going to have a web under you. The web is life. If your nest is gone, if it's off cooldown, say they got to it quick and destroyed it really quickly, you're going to drop a web at your feet. That could be the snare web, the grapple web. Just get one under you, because that way you're going to be dueling from the web. So you're going to have the speed, you have the health regen, you have the overhealth. And while you're dueling, no matter what, wherever you are, you're constantly trying to stun. Lock them down in an area for you and your team to get free shots on them. And if you want, you can throw mines at them in duels, meaning just lob it towards them and hope that they run over them. Or you can lob it at them, try to stun them, that way they're locked in place so the mine can hit, or vice versa. It can and does work, but I personally prefer to batch group them, at least 3 on the ground, to try to get one shots. You're going to use your grapple to get to areas Up high to get away, for movement, remember that it's there, it can save you, it's very useful. When you're on offense and pushing a payload, there are a couple ways to play Penny. Honestly, the most effective is to play mid-line, mid to back line, and this is solely to protect your strategist from dive. You're going to put it in an area that can't be seen by the defending team, and your strategists are going to hang out there. As the payload moves, you're going to keep moving your nest a little bit forward, a little bit forward. But the main job there is to protect from dive and dive heavy tanks, like a Hulk or a Thor. Once you gain ground, you can set the nest a little bit further up and let the payload come to you as you're defending the choke point where the defensive team is coming from. So she can be played on offense, but when you play her on offense, it's one of those two things. Play very offensively, meaning you're pushing the front line a little bit past where your payload is so you can defend the payload coming up, or you're sticking to that mid to back line to protect your strategists. Because ultimately, you're a lockdown hero. You can take a lot of damage, your whole kit can deal a lot of damage as well. Start going for crits because the buff, they are worth it. You're going to peel whenever possible because strategists should be close to you and your nest. If they aren't and you see that there's a dive on them, go help. Go for stuns, sprinkle mines at your strategist's feet. The dive is trying to get close to your strategist, so if you just place your mines on the strategist, it works out. She's great at helping. The main playstyle is that lockdown, but there is another way to play her that is actually extremely effective. That other playstyle is the annoying Penny, the pesky Penny. Especially now with her kit. They gave her more health, she's more lethal with her attacks. What you're going to do is set up on an off angle. And to do this, I found you do want another tank with you. Any of them, could be a Groot, Thor, whatever. Just something that is there to soak up frontline damage and have a frontline presence. Now, otherwise, this still works, but it's most effective if you do have another tank. But you're going to set up high on an off angle, and your nest is going to be up there with you. So you're self-sustaining. The nest is an area where they need to get on your level to take it out, or a flyer needs to. When you take damage, you have health regen because you're in a web. And anyone that comes to try to actually take you out is going to be right in the nest. And again, the whole time you have the health regen, you have the overhealth. The nest is safe up there with you. And from right here, you are throwing out primary damage that's infinite ammo, and you're using your snare nets and your mines. And since you have the high ground, you're capable of putting traps wherever you can see, far distances. Those webs and mines can go a long way. And you place these traps as you see fit. In choke points on hills, you make a trap. You have infinite ammo, and now your crits are doing good damage. You're very annoying. You are pesky. They will get tired of you. Because again, any damage that they do get on you, you're just going to heal. And you don't need a healer with you. The whole time you're dropping these AC-130 bombs wherever you want, just all over the place. Eventually, you're going to get a lot of pressure, and two things happen. One, if they do rush you, they're in for a bad time because your nest is up there, you have everything that you need, and it's like a true 1v1, and you're going to win the battle of attrition. But if you do get a lot of pressure, you can just drop back down to the front line, set up shop there, and do what you normally do. Then if you want, once a little time has passed, you can go back to that off angle up high or a different area. And eventually they just dedicate someone to you, someone will get mad, and that's a good scenario. Again, you win that battle of attrition, you have the overhealth. But it could be just above a hill, around a hill, a little high. And the nest is pretty much just for you, but you're also an overseer. Like you can grapple, since you're so high, you can grapple down to your strategist and help out, to help protect against dive. But otherwise, you're up there shooting anything that you see, placing traps in odd places that you couldn't do otherwise from the ground level. It's very good. It's extremely effective. In conclusion, Penny got better, and she has a ton of value now because of all the dive that's going on. Because I know when I play Iron Fist or other characters, I hate going against Penny because I have to find the nest because it feels like nobody takes out the nest. It's only you. So she has a ton of value. Her health got a buff. She got a crit buff. She got a movement buff. All of this has helped her. And as with all heroes, as you play more and more, you're going to find her limitations. And when you do that, when you find those, you're going to settle in and start playing to her pure strengths, which are very strong. Hit everything that you see, stun every chance that you get, and lock it down. If you're new here, remember to hit the subscribe button. And if you are subscribed, thank you so much for your support. Let's talk about Peni Parker down below. And as always, share your tips. Help each other out. Gather as much information as you can. Let's talk about it down below. Thank you for watching. And until the next one, I am CoolGuy.